Okay, this video is a combination of using the online buzzer, the RGB sensor, and the ultrasonic sensor, or excuse me, the RGB actuator and the ultrasonic sensor. And so what you're going to see here is as I move back. So right now it's giving me the green. And let me also bring up the serial monitor. As you can see, it's giving me the green. It's telling me my distance is about 55 centimeters, and it's green. Everything's all clear. As I move my hand in closer, now it goes to yellow. It says warning condition yellow. I'm inside of 12 centimeters. When I get closer than 6 centimeters, it now goes to red and starts beeping very fast and says danger condition red. Okay, so there's the yellow between 6 and 12, and then there's the green to give the all good. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. Now let me just quickly go over the code. Close the serial monitor here. Okay, so once again, we are doing the 4 includes that are necessary to make this all work. I have 2 floating point variables, decimal variables here, one setting the warning distance when yellow activates, and one setting the danger distance when red activates. And so my warning distance is 12 centimeters, and my danger distance is 6 centimeters. I hook up my ultrasonic sensor to port 6, as we did before, and I create a floating point variable, decimal variable, if you will, to record the distance when I'm reading the distance from that sensor. And then, as I did in the LED tutorial, this is how I set up MERGB LED. I set up a variable called LED for the LED actuator that's on port 8. And then once again, I give it the LED count as we did in the RGB LED video. The setup, I'm setting up my serial port here so that I can show things on the serial monitor. Did that already. I set my LED, I set the count to 4, or the LED count, which is 4. And then here, this is how I set the color. I'm going to start off with an initial color of black. So I'm turning all the LEDs off. That way I make sure when I start, everything's off. And so that's what's going on there. And keep in mind, you have to do the LED show. Okay? And so that's what that's about. And then coming into the loop, oops, make sure this doesn't beep. Then coming into the loop here, this is the first time we're going to use an if, else construct. I read my distance from the ultrasonic sensor just as I did before. Then I test to see if the distance here, is less than the danger distance. In other words, first of all, see if it's less than 6. If the distance reading is less than 6, then I do what I did before. I turn on the buzzer. I set the color to red. I show the red color. I wait 1/10 of a second. I set the color, then I take the color back to black, and I show the black color, and I turn the buzzer off. Okay? And so that's integrating the buzzer and the color change. And then I also print out the distance here, as I've done before, and then I've added some text here that says danger condition red. So that's what happens. All of this happens here. All of this happens if the distance is less than the danger distance, which is 6. The next thing is else. So if that's not true, then else, if the distance is less than the warning distance, which is 12, then set the color red. Set the color to yellow. That's what we did here. Set the color to yellow. Show it. Wait 500, half of a second here, 500 milliseconds. Set the color to black, and then show it. So that's going to cause the color to blink if you're inside the warning distance. Okay. Notice there's no buzzer here. And then you also print the distance and put the text here. Oops. Put the text here. Warning condition yellow. If none of that is true, else, in other words, the distance is greater than 12, then I'm going to set the color to green here and show that, and that's why we have the steady green color showing over here now, because the distance is greater than 12, and there's no buzzer and there's no blinking. And then the text says green all clear, which is in the serial monitor. And then I wait half a second and then go back and do it all again. So that's the code. You can have the kids play with different distances if you want to, different colors if you want to, different messages. But now we're incorporating a whole lot of things. We're using the serial monitor. We're using the ultrasonic sensor and the serial monitor to display the data from the ultrasonic sensor. We're using the buzzer, and we're using the RGB. So we're using 4 different actuators, 4 different ways of output: sight, sound, and text. And then we're using the ultrasonic sensor. So it's a lot of work, good progress in 2 weeks, and so good luck teaching.